All right, so welcome to our YouTube Mastermind, and this is open for everybody. Thursdays at 12 p.m. Central. Feel free to come through, hang out, learn, and contribute. So, a quick reminder, if you just go to thecreatoragent.com/mastermind and have not opted in yet, you have the opportunity to do so right here. And you're going to get the link to the masterminds that we've had in the past, along with the notes. Before I forget, let me go over here and hit press publish because I tend to forget that and hit publish. They will be available as soon as, like, within 15 minutes. Carmel does a phenomenal job of getting the recording up as well as the notes. So you're going to see the recording from previous session plus the notes, the real life notes that you see here on the screen today. So this October, we're looking at views to clients series. So it has more to do with video, but since we're in YouTube world, we're focusing on YouTube video and turning those views, the exposure, the reach that we have on video, and turning them into actual clients. At this point, we are going through the entire funnel, not just to collect emails, not just to collect contacts and leads. It's actually convert them into clients and then ultimately commission checks. The end of the day, at least what we teach here, what we try to accomplish here with our mastermind is we're not really too focused on the getting the YouTube AdSense, although that does come with many of the success that we have on YouTube. That's not necessarily how we make our bread. How we make our living is through commission and closings. So that's what we focus on. October 2nd, we went into how to turn views into leads. So we talked about CTAs. Then we talked about lead magnets extensively, which is previously something that the Michelle just mentioned when it came to leads and the URL that she referenced a couple of seconds ago. What is the link URL to watch previous videos? So at this point, you should have it if you've opted in. If not, it's going to be in the chat right now. Great question, Robert. It is right there in the chat if you want to go straight into the library. And today we're going to look at building the YouTube funnel. So we're actually going to I'm going to breeze through our conversation and then get into some practical, very easy funnel making without the complexity that typically comes with funnels. So I'm going to really distill it and you're going to see me build one out live. Every one of you can do this right now. Every one of you is going to have I mean, you're going to see how easy it is. But anyway, we're going to talk about the funnel and the principles of having a funnel and beyond. So let's understand the purpose of videos really quickly. This is a conversation that we had maybe 6 weeks ago, but I think it's important for our conversation today, understanding the videos that we're producing, because not every single video is going to have a different purpose. And they primarily come, can you share the link to opt in? Absolutely. So here is the opt in right here. Oh, Carmel beat me to the punch. I'll just back off. Sorry, Carmel. Um, there's three types of videos that you're making, and where our conversation today about lead magnets, about the funnel, where our conversation primarily fits is right smack in the middle, and that's converting videos. So 3 seconds to unpack this for a quick second. There are what we call workflow videos. These are videos that I ask our creator agents to create ahead of time so they can buy some time back. So if any of you have had a strategy session with me recently or as you got started, you're going to see that one of the first requests is going to get you what we call anchor videos, and many of them are workflow videos, which essentially means how to buy a house in Texas, how to sell a house in Texas. A lot of the videos that you can embed in your workflow with clients that you're presently working so as to not have to repeat yourself, so as to protect yourself from a liability perspective, so as to provide a different level of service. So you don't have to continue going and doing a buyer presentation from beginning to end, spending an hour only to find out that, oh, by the way, I quit my job yesterday, right? So to avoid those types of hiccups, workflow videos work fantastic. We've talked about workflow videos in the past, which is a type of content that this is more for videos that work for your clients, that are actively working for your clients, so you can save some time and not have to repeat yourself over and over again. So this is going to buy you time. What we're talking about today is going to really fit more in the line of converting videos. These are videos that we make strategically and purposefully with the intent of converting leads to get people from the screen into our CRM. So convert those viewers into actual clients. We talked about what would get them to act. We talked about how that would happen with lead magnets yesterday, last week. So we're not going to cover too much about that today. So but at the end of the day, as long as you understand the type of video that you make has makes a big difference in the results that you're going to get, that's ultimately what I'm after here. So converting videos are focused more for generating leads. So the type of content that would be conducive to that is 5 signs that it's time to buy a new home. Questions to ask your next real estate agent. Questions to ask your next listing agent. How to know if your listing agent is doing a good job. Questions like that that are essentially people that are at the bottom of the funnel that are ready to sign a listing agreement, that are ready to sign a buyer rep agreement. Questions that they would have, right? What is a buyer representation agreement? Well, if somebody is Googling that up, is because, or looking at YouTube on a video like that, what is a buyer representation agreement? Most likely they're either a brand new agent that's trying to figure out what the heck a buyer representation agreement is so they can get their clients to do it, or it's somebody that was asked or learned, hey, I have to have a buyer representation agreement, so I got better figure out what this is. And they stumble across your video. These are converting videos. These are at the bottom of the well, about bottom of the funnel. Do you feel you can have both buyers and seller content on the same channel? That's a really good question. What I believe at this point in time is if a lot of folks will go on the buyer side of the ledger. So I'll just share that and just invert it whenever I get to the punchline. If you have a buyer focused channel, as long as you're allocating 80% of your time to addressing buyers and at most 20% of your videos addressing sellers, they can and should stay on the same channel. So I'll say that again. 80% for your buyers and at most 20% for your sellers. I think you can stay with one channel without having to create multiple. If the percentages change and you see yourself addressing way more, if it becomes more of a 50-50, I don't believe you should have the same channel. I think you should have a buyer channel and a seller channel. Does that make sense? So invert that. If you're speaking to sellers, as long as 80% of your content is seller content and 20% is buyer content in that particular example, then you're good to go. So hopefully that answers the question. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All righty. Let's talk about, well, let's not talk about viral videos, but viral videos are more for exposure, more to get introduced to new audiences. So these are the 3 primary types of content that you're going to be creating. It's going to be workflow videos or converting videos or viral videos. So essentially more to get views. So to gain reach, to get views, hit viral video topics. To convert leads, to get leads, to actually generate people into your CRM, converting videos. And with the folks that are already working with you, your clients, to save time, get some workflow videos out there. I introduced that solely because I want you to know that we're focused more on the converting videos, which is where you're going to see the least amount of views per lead. Meaning there's these videos, if approached correctly, you can get videos from 400 to 600 views to convert into a lead. Those are the stats. Now, if you do a property tour video, you need to get at least 6,000 views per lead because property tour videos are going to be more for reach rather than conversion, which a lot of folks don't really grasp. But anyway, building your YouTube funnel. Let's look at this real quick and then build one out so we can really put anything that we're advertising, anything that we're trying to put in front of somebody into good use. So we have the video call to action. So we have a video, and again, I broke it down here, so you're going to actually see us build one in real time. So you have your video CTA. So that is your catalyst. That is how you get in front of somebody that can potentially take you up on that offer. This is where you're essentially making your pitch, making your offer, making your call to action. So we have that video, which is basically these types of videos that are going to help you generate more leads. So that's why I introduced that entire concept again in our conversation. Now, once they have that call to action, then they go into, you direct them into a landing page. Now, you can ask them to call you, you can ask them to email you, you can ask them to DM you, you can ask them to do anything outside of the platform. You can absolutely do that. However, what you're going to find more success with is having a less friction or a frictionless way um, by introducing landing pages or funnels or squeeze pages or whatever you want to call them, introducing a place where they can simply go down to the bottom of that script of that video or scan a QR code if they're watching on TV or typing in that domain if they're watching on TV and clicking on that link, opting in and giving you their contact information. So here you have that landing page, which is basically a conversation that we were having last week, Michelle, about having that landing page, and then the place where they give you their contact information is basically an opt-in or a lead form. And that is within your landing page. That's where you're asking for the elements that are important to you. The names, the emails, the phone numbers, the budgets, whatever you want to ask. That's up to you, but I would put it no more than three things to ask in that particular lead form. Name, email, phone number. That's all you need. In fact, you don't even need the name. As long as you have their contact information, you're going to be good to go. But that's, again, part of the landing page. Automation. So automation is going to save you time. Automation is going to help you avoid losing leads. So you can ask for information all day long, but if you don't have a way to actually convert them on the back end, especially through automation, you're going to be falling behind pretty quickly. And we're going to go through a very simple automation that you can integrate right now, which is going to be almost free. So we're going to look at that right now. And then conversion. So conversion happens with the follow-up. That is with you actively following up, with you actively reaching out to the lead and working to close that transaction. Any questions so far? I know we're building to it and we're gonna go pretty quick, but I just want to make sure that we don't lose anybody on the way.
So really quick on the conversion part of it, when you say we gotta look into it or whatever, reach out to them. That could be good, like once a week email that we send them for whatever things are happening, with the videos that we're putting up or whatnot, or do you have any other specific follow-up procedure on that aspect?
Great question. So there's two windows or two time frames to look at. You either have the converting window, the window that most of the conversion happens, and then you have the nurture window. A weekly email or a monthly window fits in that nurture window. The converting window, you're going to go hot and heavy for the first 3 days. So, meaning as soon as somebody opts in, it could be a checklist, it could be a calculator, it could be a whatever. We're automatically on the phone and basically doing a courtesy call. It's like, hey, Manny, I noticed that you downloaded my relocation checklist. This is Jaime from the DFW Homeowner Group. Just want to ask you real quick, did you get it? Did you get it? And they're going to ask yes or no. Awesome. Well, fantastic. Now, I just want to give you a quick little tip that you're going to need to duplicate the checklist. And do you know how to do that? Blah, blah, blah. I really don't care about the answers are going to be all the same. Whether yes or no, I'm going to go to my next question regardless. And then it's like, hey, just so I make sure that I make sure I stay on top of this. Are you looking to make a real estate move here in the next 2 months or so? Is there any way that I could be of service to you today? And they're going to answer yes or no. So essentially, what I'm getting at, Manny, is reaching out, giving them a call, is going to be absolutely vital. And that mostly happens in the converting window, trying to get to them as soon as possible. If I don't get them today, we reach out tomorrow. If I don't get them tomorrow, I reach out the following day. And then after that, then it becomes more of a email type of a situation. And they're going to just naturally fall in my weekly email newsletter. Alrighty. Now, the simple YouTube to CRM highway. So always have clear calls to action, right? So download my free relocation checklist, get my new build list, book a call. So something pretty direct, pretty simple, so as to not confuse. A confused mind will never buy is basically what's happening. Now, you're not selling anything per se, but you are selling you're not selling something monetary per se, but you are selling them getting that checklist. You are selling them getting on that call. There's some perceived value on the other side of that opt-in. So that you're asking for their name, you're asking for their email, you're asking for their phone number. So there's a price to that. And that if there's enough value on that other side of that enter button or submit button, then they're going to move forward. All right, so we were talking about where to put the landing page and funnel link. So putting it in the description, pinning the comment, and then in the end screen, depending if you have that feature yet or not, if you've already confirmed your domain. Those are three pretty distinct ways to places to put your URL. Now, we also talked in the past about embedding it, the pros and cons of embedding it in your video itself. So putting in the URL or having the QR code. We've talked about the pros and cons in the past, so we're not going to relitigate those, but know that that's another place that you can offer whatever it is that you're offering. So take this as an example. So for me, this particular URL is very easy for me to enunciate. Just go to the creatoragent.com/mastermind. That's pretty simple. And it's something that people can follow along if they're watching on TV. They could type in onto their YouTube, I'm sorry, on their browser on their mobile phone. That's pretty easy to do. So here again, if you want to embed it in your video, you're more than welcome to do so. But I personally don't like doing that, so I didn't include it here. So I usually just put it down in the description, put in the pinned comments, or in the end. Now, the automation where that happens is we're connecting it to your CRM or your email autoresponder of choice and then tagging them so you know where the leads come in. I shared with you I shared with you last week how I'm able to track and give you these stats that I referenced about how many views per lead. I'm sorry, how many views per type of content. And the way that I'm able to do that is because I'm tracking everything on the back end based off of the amount of hits, sorry, based off of the views slash and the amount of leads that we're getting from these videos. So let me show you the tagging that I was referencing. So with our squeeze pages, when we offer a list of preferred homes, which is basically a safe search in a specific area, we have them right here. So we have the type of lead that it is. This is a tag, the channel that it's on, and then the exact video actually that we went and placed it on, which is that URL right here. All right, is this making sense so far? All right. Last, before we start building this out, setting up a simple landing page and automations. Keep it at one offer per page. Having your main website is not going to work for this. So if you're directing people to your contact list on your website, that's not going to be enough. So, although this is a fantastic website, and the only reason I say that it's not because it's self-serving, because this happens to be my production team, but because actually a member that's joined here, Stephanie Hernandez, has been the point on this and helping it actually be presentable. So, um, huge shout out to Stephanie. She's made this absolutely fantastic. But even then, so what I'm saying, like from a lead capture perspective, there's that's not what this website is designed to do, and your particular website is not designed to do that either. Even if it has the most sophisticated IDX on it, there's too much noise on it. So with you and myself, whenever we're making one offer, we're making one offer. We're not we're not trying to sell the entire encyclopedia. We're just trying to sell one word. We're not trying to go and overdo it. So here, if we go to whatever it is that we're offering here, whenever they click in on one of these, unless I'm logged in, I might already be logged in. If it, I think I'm already logged in. Whenever they're trying to get details on the home, yeah, I'm already logged in, so it's not going to ask for it. Whenever they try to get details on the home, oh, here we go. Once they get to the at symbol, their cell phone pops up. So that's how I'm collecting all these emails on this particular lead magnet. But again, just trying to keep it to one offer, offer the benefit as a headline, and then if allowed, have a short video or just a clear call to action that we talked about here for your landing page. And let me show you what that looks like here.
I have a quick question. I know you used to do this back in the day, and that's how I kind of find you and start using some of the stuff that you have explained. Do you have or have you have any kind of a video series about KB Core, the newer one, how to set up this up? Because I know
I
you did have a
do.
lot of you did have a lot of stuff from KB Core back then.
I do. I do. I do. Um, they're mostly all still called KB Core though.
Mhm.
So this one again is I shared with you this last week and it wasn't great, but it still works. It still gets the leads. Although it's pretty ugly, it's still working. But it has that headline, has the exactly what you're getting, and I'm just asking for what's important for me, which is the email and phone number. That's it. Alrighty, questions, comments, concerns. I'm racing to the bottom to make sure I don't run out of time so we can build out a full funnel.
Hi, Jaime, do you like video on your landing pages?
Sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not. So we just split test those with when the budget allows or whenever. Um, what we like to do is we try to split test these more with paid ads to get to the answer a little bit quicker. So we'll have one version that goes to just basically either an image or just everything text based, and then another with video. And the software that we use is ClickFunnels. It does allow us to have an A or B.
Is there one that you're finding? I mean, is it worth spending the time to do the video or just make the squeeze page text and run with it?
I would err towards making the video. If you this is going to be something you're going to be offering consistently, I would do a video.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So when you say a video, is when somebody click on your landing page, there's your video over there. Hey guys, thank you for downloading this and this. You're gonna find this, and that. Thank you, type of thing.
Or it's
Correct.
yeah, it's typically a tie-in with the offer, so it's just mimicking the same. They why did they click on the ad? You're just there to reinforce it with a shorter video.
Correct. Correct. So it's called a video sales letter, which is basically, again, it's a video within your landing page. All right. Okay. So let's do this. Let's get our funnel created. Now, this is going to be mostly with free resources. The only one that I'm unsure about is Zapier or Zapier. And, but we're going to figure it out. So, all right, video CTA. So let's just say we're going to offer a buyer's checklist. We talked about why everybody from California is moving to Texas. That's a video that's going to do extremely well, just about in every market. Well, I mean, if you're in Texas, and what we can offer is a buyer's checklist, or let's just say a relocation checklist. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Now, this is just an idea that needs some legs. Now, let's see what time we start this at 12:31. That's what it says here. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to ChatGPT for a quick second. Can you create a very detailed checklist that I can offer my YouTube viewers? Okay. So research your area, employment income, blah, blah, blah. Phase two. This went way deeper than I anticipated. I just wanted like 10 points, but thank you. Look at that. Isn't this amazing?
Another thing too, we could probably recycle this whole information that they're giving you, put it directly on our website as a page. So you know,
Boom.
right?
This could be your script. This could be a script. This could be so many different things. This could be a post. This could be, I just updated. Let's do this. Are we friends on Facebook, people? If not, don't add me. I'm kidding. Let's do this. I just want to show you. I just updated. I want to show you some. This is a little bit outside of YouTube, but marketing's in the blood. Just updated. To your point though, Manny, just updated my relocation checklist. Anybody interested? All right. I'm just going to post it and we'll see if we have any hits by the end of today, by the end of our session. All right. So that's how we go out and generate leads. But anyway, here, what we're going to do is what normally you would read, of course, but we don't have time to read today. What we're going to do is we're going to take this. Now this goes, what I'm trying to do here is reduce any friction for you. How did I get here? All I did was to go to Google, my Google folder, and I put new, and I put a doc here. Everyone knows how to do a doc. If not, then a simple Google is going to help you do that. Now you can do this on a Google Doc. I personally, just to give you my bias, I would put this on a big fan of Manus for my AI tool. Nice, nice. I personally would err towards creating a Notion URL. So basically what I'm trying to do is get a URL. Anything that will give me a URL that I can point to, I'm about. But here, just I know not everybody's on the Notion page. Again, I want to reduce the friction. So here we have the ultimate relocation checklist, right? So I'm just going to post it there. I would button this up, I would clean it up, but we don't have time for that. This is more than enough. All right, so we have relocation checklist done. Create the digital asset on a Google Doc, get the URL, done. We have that. The landing page. Now we need to get the landing page. Here is where you could do, here again, if you have a WordPress website, if you have a Squarespace website, if you have ClickFunnels, which is more for funnels, if you have a, what's the other one that everyone brings up? High level, go high level. Any one of those is going to work. And just to show you what you could do here is, can you create the ClickFunnels opt-in for this ultimate relocation checklist. I'm going to show you the more sophisticated way, which is really not that sophisticated. You just typed in one sentence. ChatGPT is going to go off and create this page for us. I'm going to ask it to code it here in a little bit, but it's giving us everything that we need. Okay. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It just blows my mind. Now, would you like to write the actual? Yes. Write the HTML, please. Okay. We're going to let that go to work. I'll have it work offside. Now I'm going to show you the Google form version though. So from a Google form version, you could do the ChatGPT as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to just start from scratch. So we see how easy it is to do. We're just going to take this and we're going to have this, the ultimate relocation checklist. Get your checklist and save. We could do so much better than that, but we don't have time. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go here. We're going to make this a short answer, full name. Cool. We're going to duplicate this. Now we're going to go into, where's the phone? Short answer. Where's the phone? Preferred phone number. We're going to make that required. We're going to make that required. And we're going to duplicate this as well. Preferred email. And done. Okay. So now I'm going to publish this. Anyone, publish, copy. This is what we need. Let's see if it's going to ask us to sign in. Yeah, we don't want that. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go to, where are my settings? Where are my settings? Oh, here we go. We are going to responses, collect emails. We're going to put don't collect because I'm already asking for that. Allow edit responses. Here we go. That'll keep you from, let's get the shortened URL. Ah. Let's do this. There we go. So now we have a mechanism, which again is our landing page, Google form that we can use to collect information. Are we good up until now? You can get it way more sophisticated than this, but we don't need to. So by the way, our Chat GPT machine is working. Let's see if we can get a preview. Can I get a preview of the code?
We're going to get a copy of this video, right?
Yep. So remember, if you just go to the creatoragent.com, or if you just go to the link that was shared earlier on the library, that's already shared in about 15 minutes. Carmel publishes this video and the notes. Great question. Great question. Let's see if they do some.
And then when you do that, create a Notion for a URL, you don't need to sign up for, like, I don't know, GoDaddy, or put it on like KV Core or anything.
I guess to deliver the lead magnet is what you're asking, like to deliver that what it is that you're promising.
Yeah. Or I guess I guess I'm new to this whole process, so I'm just wondering, like, okay, so you're creating, the buyer's checklist in ChatGPT or Chatly or whatever, and then you're gonna create a Google Doc
Right.
for URL, and then once you put it into the landing page, where is the landing page? I guess I got lost there.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. This is your
Oh,
landing
okay.
page now.
Okay.
So I showed you a more sophisticated way to do this, like just more to show you the AI power. So everything that I look at is an AI problem to solve. All right. So here it created a version. Like this is way overkill. This is a little bit more than I would care for. However, it did it. That's huge. And you can work with it. You can ask it to remove this. You can ask it to do any of this. And there's not, ChatGPT is not the only one. There's actual better AI powered website builders, but that's a little bit beyond our conversation today. The landing page, to your question, is the Google form. This is what we're creating. This is where we're going to point people to. This URL that I kept trying to get, this URL, this is what's important to us today. So that's the URL that we're going to place in front of people. What's up, Manny?
We could do the same thing on KV Core, right? Instead of creating,
Correct.
can we add files so when people jump into it, we could send that out? That's gonna go to a different place.
once they opt in, is that what you're saying? Like deliver the
Yeah.
file on there?
Yeah, just email automatically the whatever they, I'm giving them.
KB Core, you would need to
Bell trail. I mean,
once you create the landing page. I'm opening up way too many loops for everybody, so I want to get too down the.
no, that's fine. I mean, if you got it on another YouTube
No, no, no.
video,
The only thing that I want to say here is like when you create this, once you create this, the URL after login, don't include a URL after login. Don't deliver your lead magnet in the next screen. Why? Well, because if they give you the wrong email, they didn't abide by your rules to get the information. So in my opinion, you shouldn't get access to whatever I offered you because you didn't give me correct information. How you deliver it is once this opts in, you create an automation on the back end. It's called a smart campaign
yeah,
through Bold Trail KB Core. That's how you deliver. That's where you deliver the URL. You don't deliver it right after login or enter because they gave you wrong information. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, if you have any of those videos explaining that, I mean, email it to me, and so we're, that way I could take a look at it and start doing it, because I got KB Bold Trail, but I haven't used it
Yeah.
the way that I should.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So if you just type in KV Core and type in my name, Jaime Resendez, you're going to see squeeze page or landing page. I go into that automation there. All right. So as opposed to doing the Copilot version, we're going to create a simple automation here. It's going to be ultra simple. So we can just make it easy. So we're going to go to Zaps and we're going to go to the trigger point and we're going to find, what are we going to find? Form, Google Form right there. So this is our trigger point. This is our first domino. As soon as something happens over here, meaning they opt in to this right here, as soon as that happens, we need a reaction. And that reaction, you're going to see what that looks like here shortly. Once we get a new form response, once somebody opts in and asks for our goodness. So we're going to click on that. And it's already connected for this Google Forms already connected. I apparently have some other Zaps connected here. We're going to go to continue. And what we're going to look for is that relocation checklist. If this is the first time that you're creating this, I encourage you to go to YouTube, go to Google Form, connect it to Zapier, connect it to email, which is basically where we're going today. So you're not going to get the 45-minute explanation that I typically do on my videos. So here, if this is the first time that you're connecting, it's going to ask you, hey, connect to your Google form. It's actually going to ask you this over here, but because we already have automation set up, it didn't ask me to connect it, but it's very intuitive, super easy to use. Go to configure. We want that. Once a new lead comes into this ultimate relocation checklist, we're going to continue. It's going to test it. So it's going to try to pull in some data. If it doesn't have one, it's going to make a null and void one, which is going to have Joe Doe. There we go. Continue. So again, what we just told this simple automation is as soon as a new form comes in, as soon as information comes in, I need X. This is where we decide what X is. You're going to see a ton of automation. You could say, add it to my calendar. You could say email this individual. You could say add it to my CRM. You could say ping me on Slack. You could say create a page once a new lead comes in. Um, Anything like that. But for our purposes today, I just want to keep it ultra simple. Just I'm just going to send out an email as soon as that lead comes in. That's what I'm going to prep here. So I'm going to go to Gmail and then I'm going to go to send an email. Is everybody on the same page up until now? I know some of us are like yawning. Some of us are, you're waiting for the second lap. So just want to make sure that we keep at least moving, but please ask questions as you have them.
What point do you check to make sure that it is a true email?
The moment that it comes back and says undeliverable.
Okay.
So there's no real way to check it ahead of time. All righty. So now we're going to ask it to send an email. That's what we asked. And we're going to use, I mean, we have so many emails connected. I'll just use, what am I offering for this example? I'm offering a checklist. So I'm going to use our office email. All right. So who's it going to go to? Now, when it says go to, it's asking, what email do you want me to use? Because this field is going to change, because everyone's going to put in their own email, of course, because that email is going to change, we don't put a physical email here. We go over here to the plus. I'm sorry, a static email. I got to be very selective with my words. We don't use a static email. We don't type this in because that changes. What we're going to do is we're going to go here and we're going to go to sample email or preferred email. All right, send message to Google Contacts group labeled false. Just leave that as false. Wait a minute. Is that what I think it is? You can send to Google. Send this option. Okay, we can leave that as false. Copy. So I like to blind copy it myself just so I can see, hey, how many leads am I getting? So even when our team does that, when Carmel or Nefertari or Janice goes out and creates automations, or Lloyd, they'll blind copy me just so I can see things are moving. So at some point I notice, oh, it just seems like we haven't gotten leads for this builder in Houston for ages. What's going on? It just a little bit of it's more taxing for me, but I like to stay in the pulse. So here I do code this a static email because my email is not going to change. So I just need to be blind copied on it to make sure that it's firing. From, I get to select who it's from. So it's going to be our email, of course. From name, the DFW homeowner group. That's our production team name. And then the subject, here's your ultimate reload checklist. How are we doing on time? We started at 31. We have 10 minutes to complete. All right, so in the body, and then we put hello, space, then we put their name right here. And I'm just going to put, here's your checklist. I would put a bit more verbiage in there, but again, time is of the essence right now. I'm just going to share with others. It's restricted. Anybody can see the link so they can view it. Don't put edit because then they're going to edit it so they can view it and then copy it for themselves. All right, so we're going to put the URL here. Note, please duplicate this and save to your drive. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go to continue. Oh, and let me back up. Let me back up real quick. I wouldn't do this, but just so you know, just so I have their name, their information on the way there. Just so you see that we're gonna get their name, we're gonna get their preferred phone number, and we're gonna get their email. I'm including this here because I'm getting blind copied, and I want you to see it once I run this test. I want you to see it on the back end. That way, as soon as you see that this lead went out, essentially they got the lead, they got what they asked for. You're also going to see, I got to call this person. But instead of you logging in or creating another, or us creating another automation, I want you to see the field in action. So now the email that I just got, that's not the email. The email that I just got is this. That's what was just sent out. So we delivered the lead magnet and we hadn't filled anything out here. So there was nothing to opt into. So this would have been their first name. This would have been their email. This would have been their, this would have been their phone number. This would have been their email. As soon as I see this lead come in, then I'm going to give them a call. Does that make sense? Questions, comments, concerns. I know we went ultra quick, but I wanted to make sure that We got this, and we got this under our belt. We could get way more sophisticated, but it's not necessary right now.
Jaime, this is the free version, right?
I believe it's a free version. The reason I believe that is I think with Zap, unless they change their model, I believe Zapier still gives you a certain amount of free
Of
zaps.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe that that's the case. So all you'll do is publish now since it's working. It's going to go from draft into published. Anybody that opts into your funnel now is going to get an automated response. Questions, comments, concerns?
How did
Alrighty,
the
so
leads, oh, I'm sorry. How did the leads get into your CRM?
yeah, so you would connect that same thing that we just talked about here,
Mhm.
where you need them to go somewhere. You would make that same connection, but this time instead of doing a Gmail, you would send it into your CRM that you have.
So you have to create two of them?
You could actually, I recommend that you do, because then you'll be able to find breaks. But with some of our stuff, you're going to see we have 30 different trigger points. I'm sorry, 30 different actions. Do this, then go over here. If this doesn't, if this already is in there, automate over
Mhm.
here. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need a phone tree. Just create another one, but this time don't
Mhm.
connect it to a Gmail. Connect it to your CRM.
Okay.
Robert.
I mean, for the actual automation responses, once the lead comes in, is it best to have GPT kind of help create that for you based on what you're offering and what your business model is?
Correct. Correct. And then you just upload them to your, what CRM do you have?
Real Geeks.
Okay, then just copy and paste them into your Real Geeks.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, cool, cool. All righty. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? Remember, if you want the recording, just click the link. I believe you have the opt-in link, and you also have the library that Carmel just linked down below. You're going to see the today's session, the 16th, right here. We go live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Central. Next week, we're going to go into scaling. So we're going to go into how to actually consistently book calls. We're going to go into batching. We're going to do a lot next week. So be on the lookout for that. Alrighty. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out. Remember, we go live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Central. If you need anything from me in the meantime, let me know. Outside of that, bye.
Thanks, Amy.